let's talk some tires. So I've got about 1,000 miles now on the Tusk D Sport tires combined on and off road. Some of that is in North Carolina, Blue Ridge Mountains on some dirt, the Parkway as well on road, the Appalachian Mountains in Georgia, the Georgia Traverse, and most fun and or painful, the Sand Hills section of the South Carolina Adventure Route, which is just some deep, brutalizingly painful sand. All right, so as normal, we'll start with some of the geeky stuff. All the information here is coming directly from Rocky Mountain ATV's website, the manufacturer of the Tusk. They're an 80/20 off-road bias tire. Obviously, as you can see how aggressive the knobs are. This is the most aggressive knobby tires I've had on the bike. I would definitely agree with the 80/20 rating. They are the most aggressive I could find that are still DOT approved. It's an adventure bike, obviously, so I'm doing quite a bit of on-road riding to get to my off-road riding. The build of the tire themselves, which I'll show you here, the knobs in the middle are strategically connected or woven together. A few benefits of that, and I'm sorry for the road noise in the background, it's a busy day today. A few of the benefits there are kind of twofold. So street riding, when you're going around those tighter corners or aggressively going on the road, offers a little less of that little pucker factor, you know what I'm saying? You don't feel that wiggle like I thought I would with this aggressive attire, and that's because they are connected for strength in the middle. The second thing that kind of does, I noticed in the deeper sand and mud I've been on so far, is those middle or stronger knobs work together to shoot more sand out to move me through. So I definitely feel it working harder and getting me through that deeper sand at the same time. So two benefits there. I ride an adventure bike, not a dirt bike. So I am riding a lot of streets to get there and then streets connecting my routes. So my riding style itself is probably about 40% road, 60% off-road, and even 30% road, 70% off-road. But we're still asking a lot of these tires. We gotta have them grip the pavements when you're going on wet pavement, when you're going around corners, any type of extreme knobby, you get that little pucker factor as I talked about. You want them to feel comfortable on the road, and at the same time you want to do as good as job as you can off-road. That's the main thing. You want to be able to get through the sand and those type of things. This is why I increased the aggressiveness of my tires for the D Sports, to get a little more crazy off-road and feel more comfortable with the tire tread, making sure I can get through the muck and fuss, as I like to say. So at the time of recording these tires, my front is, let me reference here, let's see, about $57 for the front tire, $68 for the rear tire. Let that sink in for a little bit. That's outstanding. One of the things that I worry about as an adventure rider is buying these expensive knobby tires and then having them wear down on my rides to that adventure on the pavement. I mean, everybody worries about it, how much you're wearing down your expensive tires. So that's definitely something to consider right there. So how have they performed for the first 1,000 miles, you say? I'm pretty impressed with them so far. Let's go through some of the cons and the pros to look at it. First, we'll start with the pros. They are, even at this aggressive of a tire, they've really held up outstanding, I thought, on the highways. When I first put them on, I won't lie, I was a little nervous about really hitting those corners, moving through. The more I rode it, it really didn't have that famous, as I like to say, pucker factor. I felt very comfortable even leaning all the way down. I'm never the most aggressive rider on the roads, like hammer it and get after it. Just not my style, but I do feel extremely comfortable going through the corners. So that's definitely a pro, something I wasn't sure of. Obviously the other pro, and I've felt it in every turn on these adventure rides, is the tires are still soft enough to be pliable. They're moving with the sand and the mud, they're gripping those rocks. I really felt the traction in the off-roading, especially in the sand hills. Take a look at the video of a South Carolina sand hills if you haven't seen it. It is extremely thick sand. I would say, between about 4-inch to almost 18-inch at times. And when there's enough rain, like I almost always seem to ride it in, because I'm smart like that. You get a lot of mud and stuff through it, so I can kind of test both. But the pros are definitely how they've handled on the street so far, and how they've handled off-road has been absolutely phenomenal. So with all that information, where do I come down? Where do I end at on liking these tires? I think this video has kind of pointed it out quite well. I am really surprised how much that I love these tires. I'm gonna be honest, I was nervous about going with Tusk tires, not because I don't like the brand or think they're quality. I have Tusk Luggage that I have literally beaten the heck out of. As most of you know, when I got this adventure bike, I've never even ridden a motorcycle before. I got it, went on a couple trips around the house, and then pretty much went right to the Georgia Traverse and Smoky Mountain 500 and the Scar, and fell a lot, let's be honest. These bags had just been beaten up, and they've lasted. They're made really well. I just switched to these Tusk handguards because the factory ones weren't holding up when I drop it. Yes, I dropped the bike. They're just getting beat up. These are a lot stronger. They're built like a frickin' tree, if tree was made out of metal. So you get the point. I wasn't nervous because of Tusk. Your rubber, your tires are a whole nother set of worries. It's the most important thing on the bike. So I was a little nervous switching over to them. By the time I threw them on, drove it home for getting them put on, hit the Scar, went through the sand, unbelievably impressed, just like I thought I would be, skipping all the nerves that I had. So let's cover the one thing that probably most people are gonna ask. How are they that cheap? A lot like the Tusk bags here, just similar. Let me walk you through if you're not familiar with, if you're just scared off by the price and not familiar with Tusk. Tusk is was purchased by Rocky Mountain ADV. So they manufacture the actual products themselves, and then they sell them themselves. That means the manufacturer is the retailer. A little bit difference, real quick, I'll run down what that means, is traditionally somebody makes a tire. I won't pick on anybody, but company X makes the tire, and then they bring it to the wholesale market. The wholesaler buys it from them. The wholesaler sells it to a retailer. The retailer now puts it on a shelf, on the website, whatever it is, and then they sell it to you, to me. Each part of that has a markup. Every company has to make their markup. They skip all those middlemen, they go direct to sale, and that's why they're so inexpensive. They're built really well. Everything I've had from Tusk is actually built really well, but that is kind of why, and you can look into it, why they are so less expensive than most other goods in the same. These tires in this reference is there's no middleman, they manufacture it, they sell it, and that's it. Nobody else to pay off. So that's kind of where that comes from. I know most people are going to ask, and that's probably going to be the biggest thing down in the comments. I think there are maybe two bigger downsides to really look at, and that is they're a little aggressive of a tire for the road, and like I've mentioned, you can definitely ride aggressive on the road with them. But if you've got an adventure bike, if you've got a dual sport bike, and most of your riding is probably not on the road, you can easily ride aggressive enough on the road with these to have fun off-road. And I'm always in the state that I would rather have too much of an aggressive tire on land, hi Missy, and a properly aggressive tire off-road. I'll slow down a little bit if I need in the wet pavement and those type of things, in the corners if I need. Again, I haven't needed to be properly ready for any craziness that happens off-road. So, I mean, you've got to make your decision, but those are probably two of the things. And the other is going to be the road noise. If you don't like road noise, if it drives you crazy, these are going to have road noise like most knobs, because they are connecting those middle knobs to the outside for structural support. Around corners, you feel a little bit better. It does bring that noise down, but the noise is there and there's nothing you can do about it. So kind of two takeaways on those. So at this point, I'll leave you with this last thing. I think it's a no-brainer. I'm really glad I like them this much, but they're inexpensive. Me stuck, I don't live in the mountains, I have to drive to them. So it gives me the chance to not play this game mentally about how do I worry about driving on the road, bringing down my knobby tires. You just get up and go. So I think they're a home run. The cost is good. Every time I buy something from this company, I believe in their products more and more. I am a budget rider, but I just think it's a home run for these type of tires. I'm interested, let me try that again. I am interested to see how long they do last, but at 1,000 miles, there are over 90% of tread there left. If they can get me 3,000 to 5,000 miles, and I easily think they will, it is an absolute no-brainer. You can ship them in, replace them. This is probably about 50 to 70% cheaper than my last tires. They're more aggressive and I absolutely love them. The one thing I'll end with is at the time that I bought these tires from Tusk, the 2-track tires, thank you very much. They did not have the right size for my Himalayan, so I do want to investigate that tire as well. It is slightly less aggressive, and I do just mean slightly. I think it's a 70-30 instead of an 80-20, and a larger grip style, a little bit more ADV. So it's something to consider. I more than likely will at least bring them in to test them. When I bought these, the 2-track, were not available for my Himalayan. So at this point, I'm gonna try both the Tusk tires. It's a home run. Please consider looking into the Tusk if you're a budget rider, if you're looking for the best adventure tire combination of cost and quality and performance. And at this, it's freezing out here. We're cold in South Carolina, so I'm gonna leave you at that, guys. Don't forget to live your adventure, be kind, have fun, and we'll see you on our next adventure.